Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. This week we have a weird thing that's happening for the first time ever in baseball. Judge keeps homering, and this year's Copa hats. Next.
Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. My name is Brad, and I'm going to be co-captaining this ship with our guy, Briggy B, on my left. How are you today, Mr. Brig?
Great. Mostly.
Hanging in there.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing well, actually. Had a surprisingly good Monday, actually. I was gearing. I think I geared up for 12 hours yesterday, and then it came, and it was not bad. So
That's great.
pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Before we get it into too much stuff, though, Brig, we do have to announce our giveaway winner of this book right here. This copy will be going to one lucky person, a baseball guy, Gene, chasing a dream to Japan and back. And that lucky winner is Alexander Trout. Congratulations. We will be in contact with you, and we will send you the copy of this book along with a couple of other nice little things to go along with it.
Little thingy things.
Yeah. If you didn't win and you would still like to read it, you can hop onto Amazon. I'll put a link down in the description so you can go get it. And also, you can catch it on Audible, right? I believe the audiobook is out now.
I'm going to double check, but I believe so.
Okay. I think you're right. I think it is. Okay. Brig, there are weird things that happen in baseball. Excellent. Love it. So there are weird things that happen in baseball every single day, Brig. Something that happens and it's like, man, that has not happened since Spinny McGee did that in 1875, right? But this is something that has not happened at all since baseball was. Did you know? First off, did you know that Major League Baseball was officially organized as MLB in 1903?
Oh, I thought it was 1901. Okay, I'm off.
So that's when the American League and I learned this. That's when the American League and National League came together, but they officially came together as named it, branded Major League Baseball in 1903.
Interesting.
So
okay, no, nice,
making it the oldest professional sports league in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is pretty neat. But so this is something that has never happened in official Major League Baseball. I'm assuming because of that caveat, it happened several times in the 1800s. I would imagine, especially with the way things went back then, right?
Right.
But
yes.
Today, we had catcher Danny Jansen, was the first player ever to play for both teams in one game. So the Red Sox and the Blue Jays played on Monday. They picked up a game that had been suspended on June the 26th. Jansen was actually at the plate, oddly enough.
Yeah.
He had, I believe, it was a 1-0 count in the top of the second.
Yeah.
With a runner on first.
In. One pitch or two pitches in.
Yeah, and then they had to suspend the game because of rain. And because they don't start the game over, like in Little League, I remember one time, Brig, I was 12 years old. We had a game that got called because of darkness because the field we were playing on didn't have lights. And my coach is like, I'll never forget this because I was getting ready to score. I scored the go-ahead run. He was like, that could be the winning run because of darkness. But then the other team that we were playing, they just beat us down all year long. This is the only time we ever beat them. But he was the tournament organizer, and he's like, no, you got to go. We got to play tomorrow night. We got to finish this game. And then we get there, and conveniently, whoever they had keeping book either messed it up or lost it, so we had to start the game all over again. And they, again, beat us into the ground. But because Major League Baseball keeps track of things, came up in the second inning.
Yeah.
So
right.
Here's the funny thing, though, is that Danny Jansen was traded to the Red Sox on July 27th. So there were some other changes that had to be made, but because of this, Alex Cora, I think, understanding what was going on, and also the fact they're playing a doubleheader today, they put Jansen in to catch game one of this doubleheader, and so he was in the box score on both teams, which I thought was fascinating. So cool that people in 75 to 100 years are going to look at a box score and be like,
now hold on,
what the heck happened here?
Yeah.
But it's funny though, because there were other guys on the field at the time who had to get pulled, like Kevin Kiermaier, Justin Turner, Bo Bichette, Dominic Smith, and and Manuel Valdez have all either been traded, released, demoted, or put on the IL since the game started.
Right.
You got two completely different teams playing these
Whole
games.
roster change. Yeah.
And I love it. I absolutely love it so much. It's so funny. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if this is something we saw happen again, just because the moves that do get made, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a fun little thing.
Can I tell you my opinion?
Do you have any? Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's stupid. I think
okay. All right.
Let me tell you, I think it's mildly interesting. I think the hype that it has generated is ridiculous. I think it is wildly overplayed.
I will agree with you on that.
I think everybody and their dog is so hot and bothered about this thing when only it affected the box score and that's it. Had it affected the gameplay itself today, that would have been remarkable. Had he literally had to change uniforms, or if he had to have completed his at-bat on one team and then moved over across the field to the other, that would have been remarkable. But the fact that it was left only to the box score, and to your point, yeah, somebody in a handful of decades is going to look back and wonder, and it'll be a discussion point then. But that's it. I have been so bothered by how excited everybody has gotten. I'm thinking there are so many more storylines going on that are more interesting, more important, whatever you want to call it, than this stupid freak occurrence. I don't get it, and you can try and change my mind, but I think it's ridiculous.
So he went 1 for 4 with a single.
Hooray.
What he did today. But I think he did catch somebody stealing at one point, though. But
no, the one I saw, he tried to and muffed it bad. The throw was horrible.
Oh, yes, that's what yes, the exact opposite.
Horrible.
Yeah, you're right. So you're right, though. It is funny how much play it has been getting. I think it's an interesting thing. I love when things happen that have never happened before, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this happen again in the next 3 to 5 years.
Right.
With the number of moves that are made.
Yeah. I just don't, I'm like, whatever. Like, everybody get over it. It's not a big deal. And again, had it played out in reality instead of in this box score world that is just for the papers, like, fine, whatever. Then it would have been cool.
So the box score on the Score, which is the app that I use, it's not going to be updated yet on Baseball Reference. He didn't show up in the box score for the Blue Jays.
Oh, cool!
Because he only saw a couple of pitches. So he didn't actually, since he didn't finish his at bat, then he doesn't show up for them.
Right.
So, and he didn't he didn't have a put out or anything. So,
hooray!
So no, I think you're right though. Like, it would have made it far more interesting if it doesn't even show that like Dalton Varsho pinch hit for him. That's weird. I think they should have made him finish the bat.
Yeah. And it had something to do with the amount of strikes. If he'd had 2 strikes, then he would have been forced to finish the at bat. But because he didn't, I don't care. Point is, it was overblown and over sensationalized, and it was stupid.
But it's never happened before, Brig. It's never happened.
Yay! Okay, cool. And it was, I don't know. This is like people were saying, come to our fireworks show. It's going to be this really interesting display that we've got going on. And they handed 3 people some sparklers. Like, that's what this was for me.
I would say there were a couple fountains. I don't want to say, I wouldn't say it's sparklers. I would say maybe there's a couple fountains.
No. And they were,
okay.
3 sparklers.
Well, I'm going to charge you with poopy pantry and then we're going to move on.
You get after it.
All right. The next thing. So I love this one, Brig, by the way.
Yeah. This one's good.
So Jordan Montgomery has voiced his displeasure to the point that he even fired Scott Boras after he signed with the Diamondbacks. Yeah. And So this was according to the Boston Herald. He was on a call with somebody from the Boston Herald, and this is what he said about Scott Boras. He said, "I had a Zoom call with the Red Sox. That's all I really know. It went good. I don't know. Obviously, Boras kind of butchered it, so I'm just trying to move on from the offseason and try to forget it." So obviously, not very happy with the way things went, to the point, like I said, that he fired Scott Boras and moved on from him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna save my thoughts on that for just a minute,
Okay.
just real quick. Let's talk. So this is the thing that I thought was really interesting, was that Blake Snell actually came to Boris's defense on this, came to his rescue, if you will. And he backed him. This is according to The Athletic. He said, "My experience with Scott has been great. He told me everything that was happening, all the offers I got. So for him to just get bashed for what I believe is false, that's not fair at all. I really strongly believe that." Said, "I've seen how Montgomery struggled, but he signed the deal he ultimately wanted to sign. He has the choice. I don't know what the other deals he was offered, but I know everything that was offered to me. It's just sad that he thinks that way when I see Scott as a very honorable man." Okay, I actually agree with that last part that Blake Snell said, that Jordan Montgomery had a choice.
For sure.
Unless the only thing is if Scott Boras was like, "That's not a good enough deal," and he didn't even take it to Montgomery, right? Like if a
Which
team presented an offer and he was just like, "Not good enough. I'm not even going to
rejected
present it to my
outright.
client."
Yeah.
Yeah. In which case would be unethical practice, I'm sure,
Yeah.
right?
Bad news bears. For sure.
Or if he and Montgomery had already decided and said, anything less than X, anything below X, you have my authority to reject, right?
For sure.
That's like the only time that I feel like that could be right, that could work.
I could see that
But it
happening.
does feel a little bit like Jordan Montgomery is using Scott Boras as a scapegoat. Why can't I say that word? For coming in to the season late, right? Coming into everything late.
Mm.
That
Mm-hmm.
he could have gotten to the point and been like, "Hey, no, I want to get to camp like yesterday. Call one of those teams and let's take one of those deals and we'll just go however long, if it's a year, if it's 2 years, whatever, and we'll make it work because I want to get into camp and I want to perform." I
Yeah.
mean, do you agree, disagree? What do you think about this, Breaker? Does he
I
have a
could see
legitimate case?
that. Oh, I could see that being the case. But it's interesting. We have been blasting Scott Boras. We call him Scotty B. We have a nickname for the guy, right? We've had him on blast for years. And here comes a guy who says, "I'm disgruntled. I don't like the way he handled it. Maybe he didn't give me all the information with which to make the best decision possible." Whether it was previously agreed upon or not, I think that the situation dictated certain parameters needing to have been changed as the days progressed and it got closer and closer and closer to desperation mode. So, this is probably a case of both parties being wrong. Unless we can show, and we will never be able to do this, but unless we can prove that Scott Boras was ignoring or ducking Jordan Montgomery, was not returning his phone calls, emails, whatever, then okay, all right, then we can totally
Yeah.
string up Scotty B. But that's likely not the case. And so I think both of them are upset. To your point, or both of them are at fault. To your point, I do believe that Jordan Montgomery is trying to point a finger. That's He's clearly needing somebody to blame and doesn't want to blame himself. That's a difficult position to be in, but I think Scotty B's a bad guy in a lot of different storylines. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's the bad guy in a lot of
Right.
different storylines. So it's easy for Jordan Montgomery to point his finger at Scotty B and say, "Boo on you." And for all of us to say, "Yeah, well, we believe you," because that's kind of what we always believed anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's gotten to the point that it feels like the Diamondbacks are not playing Jordan Montgomery anymore, even. Like, that's
Mm,
how bad.
he's
No, that's
bad.
not
He's
true.
been bad this year.
He has been. It's not true. He played on his last start was August 21st. So he's still in rotation. He's playing. Um,
Hmm.
but they're not having him go deep in games. And a big part of that is because he can't,
Yeah.
right? His
Yeah.
last outing, like the Diamondbacks ended up winning 10-8, but he went 5 2/3, gave up 10 hits, 6 runs, couple of home runs,
10 hits
right?
and six
So
runs. Oh, in 5 2/3 against whom?
against the Marlins.
Oh no. See. Nope.
And then his previous start before that was against the Rockies. He went 6 full, 8 hits, 3 runs, 8 strikeouts, but still gave up 3 runs against the Rockies. It was an 11-4 win, so he probably was out early in.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like, not great against the Rockies, right?
No, not great.
So I
I
don't
mean, the
know.
Yankees just hung one up against the Rockies too. Like
That's baseball, right, Susan?
that's
Like,
baseball,
that's the
Susan.
thing.
Yeah.
Is that,
But if it's you every time and not just your team every once in a while, then that's different.
yeah. Well, because I was gonna say, like, even the White Sox hung one up on the Yankees a couple weeks ago, right? Like, it
Yeah.
happens. It
Yeah, it
happens.
does. The Tigers
So
did it. Yeah. In front of all the little leaguers. Ugh. I'm still not over it.
must have been embarrassing.
Just glad it
Anyway,
wasn't there.
no, it's just I honestly, like, with the way things went during free agency, I wasn't surprised to see Montgomery fire Scotty B at all. I am
No.
a little bit surprised that he's still not over it, and there's probably some frustration boiling at the year that he's had because he hasn't been great.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he had an amazing year last year, but also though, like, there might have teams that have been like, he might fall off this year, and that's why they didn't sign him. Not for that amount of money. Not at
So
that price.
do you think Snell is he did he come out and decide on his own to back Scotty B? Is this a PR stunt by Scotty B and his camp? Is this because he's needed some Hail Marys at the tail end of last winter meetings and into the
Mm-hmm.
spring training. He needed some love.
I think what it is Blake Snell being like, I'm going to opt out of my deal going into this offseason, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
be in my agent's good graces, so he continues to
Yeah,
back me. So if I back him, he'll back me, and
that's a good
all
point.
all for everyone involved.
I like that. The other thing that's interesting is that I read that Matt Chapman is in negotiations with the Giants to stay there. He's looking for an extension. And obviously Scotty B is managing that for him. So
That's interesting because he's not an extension guy, Scotty B.
I know.
Right? Like
I know.
like that's one of the big problems that Mariners fans have with Cal Raleigh is, like, we want an extension, like, lock him up now because we want him to be a Mariner forever. It's like, well, his agent's not going to let that happen.
Yeah, he doesn't do that. But
So,
that's why I think both San Francisco, they're interested, but Matt Chapman is very interested in staying in the Bay
and a
Area.
big part of that could be, now that I say it out loud, a big part of that could be his age. That
Yeah,
he's not a big ticket item on the free agent market anymore. So it makes sense to lock him up with a
I
4 to 5
agree.
year deal or whatever they're going to do, 3 to 5 year deal.
Yeah,
So could be
and easy. Just some notes.
interesting stuff with Scott Boras all the time. Always drama
Yeah.
surrounding that man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Aaron Judge. Brig, why don't you tell us
Oh,
about the Chief Justice of the Supreme Sport?
listen, if you don't know by now that Aaron Judge is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Sport, then you're not paying detention, which is what we say at my house. You're not paying detention. As of this recording, knowing that they are in Washington playing the Nationals right now, and it is currently the top of the fourth. We're doing it a little early. Aaron Judge, as of this recording, has homered in 9 out of his last 10 games, 45 in the last 94 games. He hit 2 on Sunday versus Colorado. That was numbers 50 and 51 on the season. Incredible. Officially, he is now, because he hit 50, he's now the 5th player in Major League Baseball history with at least 3 50 home run seasons. The others are McGuire and Sosa, but, and then A-Rod, but, and then Babe Ruth. Those are the only guys who've ever had 3 or more 50 home run seasons. It's incredible. And he's doing it clean. Let's just call it. Like, he's doing it clean. Everybody knows it. I feel like it's not in question at all.
So Could you imagine if he wasn't?
Ooh. It would
Holy cow.
shatter baseball. It would.
Could you imagine how big he would be on steroids? Like,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
this is the
yeah,
thing is like his physique, like he's just a naturally big guy, right? And he's
yeah.
6'7", what, 230,
6'8".
240.
Mm-hmm.
But so he's a naturally big dude. But if he was on steroids, you would see it, and he
Yeah,
would be an absolute behemoth of a man, and he would
yeah.
be hitting 80 to 90 home runs a season because
He. Oh
that's
yeah,
what
dude.
happens.
Well, we've seen that. We
That's what I'm
know what
saying.
that'll get you 73 home runs in a single season. By the way, yeah, I said that out loud. Okay. What's even more astonishing about Aaron Judge's pursuit of 60 plus this year is that he began the season in a horrible slump and was really only on pace for 28 home runs at the beginning of the season. Check this out. You ready? Did some
I'm
analyzing.
ready. Oh,
Let's talk about his slugging percentage, okay? He sees 38.7% of the pitches that he sees and then puts in play. Okay? 38.7% of the balls he puts in play, he pulls. He pulls with a slugging percentage of 1.240, just his pull. To straightaway, his slugging is at 851, and that accounts for 34.3% of the balls he puts in play. Figure out how balanced that is. And then he goes opposite field at 1.012 slugging, and that's 26% of the balls he puts in play. That is the definition of balance plus power in every way.
well, and it makes sense that the slug is lower just because of the distance of the field and straightaway center field and in the alleys and
Exactly.
things like that. So he's going to be
Yep.
getting doubles instead of homers, where he's getting homers instead of doubles off and pull side. So it makes
In the
perfect
corners.
sense the
Yeah.
way that the numbers are adding or distributing, I guess. And
Yeah.
and he has a swing where he really does, like you always hear hitting coaches say, stay on the inside part of the ball. He does a great job of that. It's just that he happens to be a massive human being who hits the ball
Yeah.
400 feet so many times. So
Yeah.
he ends up hitting that many home runs.
Well, he's looking middle out, right? And then he can climb. His hands are so fast that he can drop it in there, and he can attack an inside pitch as well. So let me show this video, just a little highlight reel, plus his spray chart. You can see the distribution up to today of his 2024 hits spray chart. We've got home runs in red, and you can see that not very many of them are cheaters. There's one in left field that you could call a cheapie. It's right up there with where a double, they're right overlaid.
Well, he might have,
And then
and he might have snuck that one up, or it might have hit the front row of the monster. Might have
yep,
been what that was, right? So it would have
exactly.
gone.
I can see that. Yeah. That accounts for all of the fields he's played in, by the way, not just, Yankee Stadium or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you ready for this?
Yep.
Of his 51 home runs, 29 of them have been on fastballs. Okay. 22 of them have been on any other kind of pitch. Again, balanced. Of the 29 homers against fastballs, he's taken 10 pull and 19 between straight and opposite field. Straightaway center and opposite field, 10. And then 19. Of the 22 non-fastballs, 13 of them he's pulled and 9 of them have gone straight away or to the opposite field. I mean, come on. What are you going to throw this guy? You can't throw him anything unless you spike it in the dirt, but his chase rate is lower this year than it's ever been. Incrementally, every year, his chase rate gets lower and lower and lower.
Well, and the thing is, and so to me, that says, like you were talking about, his hands are so fast that he can sit off speed and then react to fastballs.
Yep.
Right? That's
Yep.
crazy.
He's incredible. In 2022, Judge hit 62 home runs. Everybody knows that, right? It was an enormous deal.
And if you didn't before, you do now.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the whatever. over 131 games in 2022 versus the 131 games he's played so far in this season. His line, 51 home runs both ways. 2022 and 2024. Through 131 games, he's hit 51 home runs in both years. His slash line in 2022 through 131 games was 333, 465, and 736. This season, 51 home runs. His slash line is 296, 399, and 664. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
So after his 2-homer day, he's on pace for, I think, 63. Let's get that up.
63 is what that's what they said on SportsCenter last night, was 63.
Yeah,
So
63.
It's interesting though, because the numbers, the average, the slug, the on base, that's all down from what it was 2 years ago. But like you said, he started the year off with a ridiculous slump. So he's been digging out of a hole.
It was awful. So the last 95 games, 94, 95 games, this is what the product has been. Had he not started in a slump and we had come on the same pace with the same numbers, man, he'd already be at 58.
Yeah. Yep, he'd be up there. He could be chasing. I wouldn't be surprised if in a year or two, if he ends up chasing 70. I think at some point he will.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
That I feel like 60 is just the tip of the iceberg, and he's got to stay healthy. Last year he had that foot issue. It seems like things are better now, right? Yeah. And it's a long season, and it's hard to stay healthy. But he's done a really great job. He's surprisingly durable for a guy his size and his age. Like, he's in his 30s, so his warranty is up, Brig.
Yeah, it's over. There's no guarantees anymore.
Yeah. All right, very cool. It is, and like, even as somebody who's not a Judge, or I'm a Judge fan but not a Yankee fan, like, this kind of stuff just further solidifies being a Judge fan, even though different team.
Like, you can hate the Yankees all you want, but I don't know anybody that hates Aaron Judge. Like, and he's such an all-around decent human being.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway. Perfect guy to be the captain of the team.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about somebody else that's hard to dislike. Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani has joined the 40-40 club, 40 home runs, 40 stolen bags. 6th player in Major League Baseball history to do it. Ronald Acuna Jr. did it last year. Your other guys, you got Alfonso Soriano, Alex Rodriguez, again on the list, Barry Bonds on the list, and Jose Canseco. So it's funny seeing Barry Bonds on here, because anybody who was familiar with Bonds in his San Francisco days, like, that dude got 40 bags? No, he did not.
No.
Pittsburgh Barry Bonds got 40 bags.
Yes. And if you want more information on that, go check out our alternate history video where we break down what would have happened had he not involved himself with steroids.
Exactly right. And it is crazy, though, that Jose Canseco got 40 bags. And I wonder if that was like a Ricky Henderson influence, right?
Oh, yeah.
That him being that, they're all ultra competitive, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to be outdone by Ricky. Yeah, I can see Jose Canseco saying that.
This little guy, right? I don't want him outdoing me. So
yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, he's the first player to do it before the end of August, which is astonishing, because he very well could start the 50-50 club. Not unreasonable. Friday night versus the Rays, he stole number 40, and he hit number 40 with a walk-off grand slam. Jose Siri got the ball back. I guess it bounced back into play, and then he tossed it into the stands. Because somebody was a little salty, I'm sure.
Well, he said he didn't realize it. He said, it didn't occur to me. I just didn't want to get walked off. He said, I was just so disgruntled by getting walked off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was a little salty. He just wasn't thinking about anything else, thinking we just got walked off.
But, like, come on, man. It was away. It wasn't even your home ballpark. Like, read the room.
Yeah. Yep. So, side note, though, Ohtani did throw off the mound for the first time since surgery. So, look out, because obviously not going to pitch this season, but he'll be ready next year. Can you imagine? You've got a guy who, so he goes out there, and granted, being able to focus solely on hitting, and I will say this: being a DH is not an easy thing to do.
Sure.
I've done it, and I
Yeah.
hated it. Absolutely hated DHing because you're sitting there in the dugout, you're bored out of your mind while your team is out there in the field. You're like, I need to go run around. Like, I need to go chase a ball, right? And
Yeah.
then it's like you don't even hit every inning, so you're just sitting there. And granted, you're watching the game, you're trying to stay engaged. When you got a buddy next to you, like, hey, let's play some dugout baseball. I'm like, oh, okay, but I
Yep.
got to watch the game to keep my head locked in, right?
Yep.
So you got a whole bunch of distractions going on, and then you come around, and then he comes up and he hits 40 bombs with all that going on. And it is well documented that Shohei Ohtani likes to play dugout baseball. By the way,
Right.
Brick.
Mm,
So I
I
think it's
know it.
more impressive that a DH is doing this 40-40 than really any other position, to be completely honest with you. But could you imagine Shohei Ohtani comes back next year? He's got a sub 3 ERA and it's 40-40.
Man.
And the
Or because
Dodgers are
he's
paying him
not
$2
as
million.
distracted, he goes to 50-50 and has a sub 3 ERA. That would change it would completely upend our view of what is possible for a baseball player.
It really would. And then that $700 million deal altogether would look like a bargain.
Starts making a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, it already makes a lot of sense. Let's be honest. None of us are sitting here watching Shohei Ohtani after that deal thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't have. No,
They may have
no,
overpaid. No.
no.
No chance. No chance.
Nope. Give
I
the man
love
what
it
he
though.
deserves.
Yeah, exactly right. Okay, let's go from the best to the worst. The White
Yeah,
Sox stink, if you didn't know. They lost
super
their
dull.
100th game. So they are on pace to lose 124 games as of right now. They are 31 and 100. So
Jeez.
first, okay, let's get through this first real quick. The record is 120 losses by the 1962 Mets. The 2003 Tigers lost 119. I was at one of their wins, by the way, in Seattle. That's why I'm not
Cool.
allowed at T-Mobile Park because
Yeah, right.
that
That's
happens
right.
when I go. They lose to
Yeah.
119 loss team. This year, the Tigers were the ones who handed the White Sox their 100th loss. How fitting! It's poetic. I
Isn't that
love it.
nice?
The White Sox final series will be against the Tigers. The Tigers actually they didn't lose 120 because they ended up sweeping that last weekend of the season. So it's crazy. It's like they'll lose one, and then they didn't lose any. So we'll see what happens with that. But so I talk about this all the time, and I don't know how often I talk about it on the show, but Tommy Lasorda said you're going to win 55 games, you're going to lose 55 games. It's what you do with the rest of them is what matters. The
Right.
White Sox are not, Brig, going to win 55 games.
No, no.
Like, how do you lose possibly 124 games?
I don't know.
I don't understand it. Especially this team 3 years ago, they
Yeah.
won what 92, 93 games.
Yeah, it was almost 100 games.
How do you fall so far so fast?
I don't know.
And then not fire everyone involved in the middle of the
Yeah,
season.
right.
And it might be one of those things, Brig. It might be one of those things where Jerry Reinsdorf is like, me firing Pedro Grifol or anybody else today is not going to make a difference. If we're going to lose 124 games, we're going to lose 124 games. Getting those guys out is not going to change anything. But if we don't see the White Sox like just overhaul everything, everybody top to bottom, all their personnel, like leaving some players because
But the
they have
Browns
to,
crew can stay.
right? Yeah, they might recruit
They're
them.
doing a good job. Yeah.
Like, what's even going on there?
You know, we have
It's
30
bonkers.
games left. There are exactly 30 games remaining in the season.
Yeah, right. I'm curious because the Tigers went to the World Series not long after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious. I'm looking right now to see how long it took them to turn things around.
Yeah.
So in 2003, like we said, they lost 119 games. In 2006, they lost in the World Series.
That's fast.
It's really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2004 they won 72, then they won 71, and then 2006 they won 95 games.
What'd they do in 7?
They won 88.
There you go.
They kind of
Great.
did this, and then they got back, and they had 4 years in the playoffs from 11 to 14.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, this is the thing, is I don't feel like the White Sox are a dysfunctional organization. They just won a World Series in 2005,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Something's
You
wrong.
had a terrible year. The water is poisoned somewhere, and we've been saying it for a year and a half, Brig. The manager seems to be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he's
And
the
they
only
can't.
problem,
No.
but
No, he's a problem though.
yes, seems to be. Absolutely. All right, let's talk about, this is so cool. Pete
This is so cool.
Crow-Armstrong is super duper fast. Just like
Stupid fast.
so freaking fast. Not only did he hit an inside the park home run versus the Marlins on Friday, he ran the bases faster than all but one player in MLB history. He got from home to home in 14.08 seconds. Put that man on a track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Byron Buxton is the only guy who's ever done it faster. In 2017, he was 13.85 seconds. That is lightning.
Which is incredible.
So fast.
And you'll see it in a minute. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it. We got the video here, but I want to see.
I
the
think,
Buxton
Brig, I think if you timed me, I think it might take me 13.85 seconds to make it to first base. There's a chance these days.
Yeah.
Very
Exactly.
slow these days. So this is PCA's second inside the park home run this season. Let's roll the tape. Let's take a look at it because this is outstanding. So there he drives it into right field. It hits off the wall, or bounces and hits off the wall, and the right fielder kind of overran it, had to chase back. I don't know why the center fielder didn't come back to help, but I don't feel like he really, right there, that shot, the blur in the background, you can see that he's really moving. But here it is right here. Watch the little dot, Crow-Armstrong, go around the bases. He's going to be home before I finish this sentence. Boom.
And that's relative to how fast the ball is moving.
It's so crazy. That should have been a stand-up triple, nothing more. There was no reason for him to have been able to score on that, besides the fact that he is an absolute speed demon.
I can't. When I watched it, I thought, now hang on. Was there a play in between or something? Did I look down at the wrong moment or something? It doesn't make any sense. My brain doesn't move that fast.
It was crazy. So I wanted to look because all I've heard about PCA is his speed. Everybody's like, that dude is so fast. So fast. And it is just absolutely bonkers. I was watching a Cubs broadcast, and this is a few weeks ago. And even Boog Shambi was like, I just want somebody to hit one in the gap so PCA has to chase it down. That's all I want to see. It's like, I would love to see that. But so these are his sprint speeds, Brig. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
His average sprint speed is 30.0 feet per second. That's 6th in MLB, but only because there are like 4 guys tied for second at 30.1. So he's right there with, not only is he top 6, but he's right there with like the top group. And then his home to first speed, he's tied for second in Major League Baseball at 4.09 seconds.
Wow.
It might take me 4 seconds to get out of the box these days to recover from swinging the bat.
Oh, man. I was just thinking about it. If I tried to sprint to first base, first of all, I have no idea how fast I would be. And second of all, I know that I would be 3 days of doing nothing. That's funny. What I know.
It's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't look that far when you're at a distance, but then you look at the 90 feet, you're like, that's really far. And then at our age, Brig, as we make that run, it just seems like it stretches and gets farther away. It's like, am I going backwards? Am I running uphill on sand? What's happening here?
Well, and everything else stretches, and that's the problem. You're like, these don't muscles. I haven't asked them for this. We didn't sign up.
These don't muscle. Exactly right.
These don't muscle anymore. Yeah. Yes.
This is my last thing on this. I think I say this about Julio Rodriguez all the time. If I was as fast as Pete Crow-Armstrong, I would run everywhere. I would not drive. I would run to the grocery store. I would run down I would run everywhere because I can, and I would get there in no time flat. So cool.
Makes
I
sense
love
to
it.
me.
All right, before we take a quick break, let's get into today in baseball history. Today in baseball history, August 27th, 1977, Texas Rangers Toby Harrah and Bump Willis hit back-to-back inside the park home runs on consecutive pitches in the 7th inning as the Rangers beat the Yankees 8-2 at Yankee Stadium. Speaking of inside the park home runs, by the way.
Back-to-back inside the park home runs? Are you kidding me?
It's too bad it wasn't in Texas because could you imagine how exciting that would be for the home fans?
No kidding, dude. That would be.
It would be, and especially on back-to-back pitches, it would be like, I still haven't recovered from the first one. You need to stop him at third base. But no, he's waving him around. Be losing my
That's madness.
Would absolutely be losing my mind. All right, we're going to take a quick break. But before that, we do that, Brig, you want to tell the people about Zaka Life?
Zaka Life is awesome. It's our new CBD analgesic cream. It's a pain relief balm. I got mine right here. And it smells amazing. It feels silky smooth when you put it on. And you can get a discount of 5% on this and all of their products by going to the link in the description. Or you can go to ZakaLife.com and use code BTPod to get 5% off your order. It helps your body, helps us. And I didn't talk yet about the gummies, so stay tuned for next time because they have sleep gummies and they're awesome.
And we'll be right back.
Baseball family, some of the hardest parts about eating sunflower seeds, outside of choosing which flavor you prefer, is keeping track of the packaging and trying not to spill your seeds all over the place. Well, now those days are over with Seed Sack. You can get a seed sack in canvas or leather with a metal squeeze clasp. It keeps your seeds nice and protected. Seed Sack also lets you personalize your sack with names, numbers, and logos. They're great for team gifts, birthdays, or just for whenever. Head over to seed-sack.com and use code BASEBALLTOGETHER. That's baseball with the number 2 together and save 5% on your Seed Sack. Again, that's baseball, the number 2 together for 5% off your Seed Sack order. Baseball family, welcome back. This is one of our favorite segments we do every single season. If you're new to the show, you might not know that we love minor league baseball. We love it entirely, and sometimes better than Major League Baseball if we're talking in-person experiences. There are some things that be careful. There are some things that occur in person in minor league baseball that just are charming and unique, and it's fabulous. And one of the things that they have done for the last handful of years is Copa de la Diversion, which I know I butcher the pronunciation on, but that's what it is. It is Latin heritage celebration, the celebration of Latin heritage for minor league teams and communities. And so what teams do, and not all of them do this, Brad. I haven't figured out why not all of them participate in this. Do you have any thoughts on that, by the way?
Probably the fact that the minor league team has to pay for it, and I think some owners are too cheap to want to do it.
Yep, there it is.
Even though, so this is something that's interesting thinking about that, though, because I remember we asked the guys at the Greenville Drive.
Yep.
We asked them about, like, how do minor league teams have the budget to do so many special uniforms throughout the year, because they do a ton of them. A lot of them, like if you see a team do one, they're going to do at least 5 probably. And they said honestly, it's because if you get a guy down on a rehab assignment who happens to wear that jersey will auction off to some fan that will pay for the entire wardrobe, pay for everybody's jersey. They're going to pay enough for it. And so I think what it is you get owners who aren't willing to take that financial risk, whereas like with the Drive, that is a Red Sox affiliate. So you're going to have stars coming through there, right? So that's almost.
I got my Drive hat right here.
Nice. Mine is not within reach. But so I think that that's part of it, is you have owners who aren't willing to take the financial risk of any kind of rebrand, of any kind of alternate or things like that. Because when I was playing I didn't play. I was interning.
Yeah.
I was playing in the press box is what I was doing.
You were.
With a minor league team. they had one alternate jersey the entire season, and it was only for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
go figure. But anyway.
Well, and I have that jersey too.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts as to why teams don't?
Well, we could chalk it up to poopy pantsery, I'm sure, and get a
unwillingness to take a financial risk, poopy pantsery,
which is what you said. Yeah. But I also think it comes down to, I hate to say this, but I think community engagement. And I know that will extrapolate out to things like being able to pay for
it makes sense,
the
though.
wardrobe and stuff. But
if you don't feel like you have enough people in the community interested to sell additional merch, why would you put it on the shelf?
Right. Yep. So if your team does not do Copa, it's probably because your people don't go to baseball games in and around where you are, which is just a shame. It's a shame. Okay. Anyway, we have new Copa teams this year, and we always go through. Sorry, let me get back on track. We go through every year and we rate and rank and talk about our favorite Copa hats and why we like them and which ones we would buy, etc. Brad, tell us about the Copa hat you're wearing right now.
I'm wearing the Arkansas Diamantes. It's the Arkansas Travelers. That is the affiliate for the Mariners, the AA affiliate for the Mariners. So that's why I have this one. I also have that same Greenville Drive hat that you showed, Brig. I have that one in my hat collection as well. And I have a feeling these will not be my last ones. There's one today that if I was not mandated to be on a hat buying pause, it would be the hat that I would be putting into a cart tonight and buying. But I'm not allowed to for a short time, probably a long time actually. But when I do, I'm the next one I'm buying.
I also have a moratorium on purchasing hats.
Actually, that conversation came up today because our buddy Kyle from college, he texted me. He's like, "I'm going to be in so much trouble." He bought 2 Cubs hats today. He's like, "I am going to be in so much trouble." I get you, buddy.
Yeah. We all can relate to that. For me, it's hats and books, man. I get every time I turn around, I'm like, "Oh, I did order that." Yeah.
Oh, it came today. Oh man, surprise!
Guess that's what that was. So I'm wearing this is the Salt Lake Bees. They are the Abejas, Salt Lake City. They're AAA affiliate of the Angels. I happen to be from there. So, and I have a gazillion. My thing is, if I go to a minor league ballpark or major league ballpark for that matter, I buy a hat of the local team. I will not do this at Fenway, by the way. I know you're all wondering. But I have at the affiliates of the Red Sox. And usually what I'll do these days is I pick up the Copa hat instead of the team hat. So I have a bajillion Copa hats. This is just the one that I decided to pick because it's pretty.
It is. That's one thing I like about, like, when we get into it, that's one thing I really like about the Copa hats is the coloring is so different. Right?
Oh, man.
They're vibrant colors and they look so different than anything you would ever see on a baseball field. And I'm sure the players like it too. It's nice to mix it up. Go away from navy blue and red, no matter where you are.
I for sure agree. So there are 8 teams that we're going to be talking about. They are the new Copa, I guess, branding or identities. That's the word I was looking for. They're the new Copa identities for these minor league clubs. 5 of them are brand new, and 3 of them are rebranded. They have had other Copa identities in the past, and this year they have decided to rebrand, which I appreciate because sometimes they fall really flat, and it takes some reimagining for it to really go. So I'm proud of them. Let's talk first about let's see, where do we want to start? Let's start right here with the Altoona Curve. They're the AA affiliate of the Pirates. And now they are the Pecos Dorados.
Pieces.
Pieces? I don't speak Spanish as much
probably
as you do.
Peces. Sorry.
Peces. That's what I thought. Peces. Anyway, so the cap itself has a bright, sort of a vibrant baby blue. It's not quite a powder. Maybe it is in person, but right here it appears to be
like a Tiffany blue. It looks pretty bright.
No,
No,
this
Tiffany
is
is what
this
you've
is
got.
Tiffany blue.
Duh.
What I'm wearing is,
You're
yeah.
right.
But it's like a really good bold baby blue, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
It's got a gold visor, gold eyelets, a lime green squatchy, and you'll see lime green featured frequently in the Copa hats. And then around either side, in the other panels, are a red color. The image itself on the this that are stitched shows a baseball in a Day of the Dead sort of makeup, I guess. And then is that a hat or a mohawk or a piece of French bread? Like,
I
what is
think
that,
that's like a
Brad?
mohawk. I think that's a mohawk. Oh
Okay.
no, no, what that is? That's a dorsal fin because they're the peces, which is fish.
Yeah, a dorsal fin. You're so
That's what
smart,
that is.
Brad.
This is a fish head on, is what this is.
Mm-hmm. I see. Oh, goldfish. Peces dorados translates to goldfish. It's an homage to Al's outsized influence. Al tuna. You see, Al's.
Yeah, love
Yeah,
it.
is a tribute to Hispanic culture within the game. So draws meaningful connection. This is the general manager, Nate Bowen, says it draws a meaningful connection between one of the best mascots in minor league baseball and the vibrancy of the culture that so many of our players grow up in and engage with. How do you feel about this one, Brad?
Let's rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. I would give it a 4.
Hmm.
That logo is really cool. I love anytime they use the Day of the Dead influence,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They look really cool. I love the color scheme. Like that blue with that red looks really good. The reason I give it a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5 is I'm not crazy about the visor, the
Ah.
gold visor. I would rather have maybe a lime green visor to match the squatchy.
Hmm.
Might
Okay.
be where I would go with that. What about you?
This for me, this is a 4.5. I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5. I'm in love with bright colors. I like loud. I think that color blocking is really great for me. Um, but it's going to lose a half a point because I sat here struggling until I read the description with just exactly what I was looking at. So, but if I didn't feel like I cared, or if I didn't ever feel like I needed to explain it, then I'd wear this all the time. Baseball
Great
family,
point.
would you wear it? That's the next question. Okay, let's jump to here. The Buffalo Bisons. Okay, they're AAA affiliate of the Blue Jays, and now they are the Lucis de Buffalo. Now, I'm reading straight off the website. There's some serious local history embedded with the Bison's Lucis de Buffalo identity, which translates to Lights of Buffalo. New York's second largest city is known as the City of Light due to its early adoption of electricity. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. The Bisons explained that the logo's sun/light Taino symbol represents the indigenous roots of the Hispanic people who have lived and continue to thrive in Western New York. There you go. So it's light.
So, and
Description.
for those of you,
Description
I
time.
was gonna, I was gonna say, so it's a black crown all the way around. Kind of is that like? Would you say that's turquoise visor?
Yeah.
Turquoise, the turquoise visor, eyelets, and squatchy, and then it's in the middle on the front. The logo is like it's kind of like a turquoise sun. I'm assuming with yellow rays coming out of it, with like some turquoise accents in the rays. Um,
Dude, I think the
Brig, what do
rays
you
are
think?
lightning bolts.
Are those lightning bolts?
I'm going to blow it up and look really close, but
They
they're
might
electric
be.
lightning bolts.
Yeah, nice.
And there's a luchador mask in the center.
Yes, there is. I failed to mention that. I can see it now that you mention it. There is a luchador on the sun in the middle. What do you think of this one?
The colors work really well. I think it's a great combination. I think otherwise it's boring.
I absolutely agree with you. I would give it a 2. The reason
Yeah.
I don't give it a 3 is because that logo doesn't do much for me. The color, like the reason I give it a 2 instead of a 1 even, is because I love the colors. The black crown
Yeah.
with the turquoise visor, eyelet, and squatchy. Love it. I love that color
Even if
scheme.
it's not turquoise, even if it's blue, which it very well
Right.
could be,
Yeah.
still works. I just think
Hmm.
I'm with you. Two is solid. That's what I would rate it. Okay,
Okay. What do we have
let's
next?
move on. We're gonna go to this one. Okay. The Duraznos, Roma, Rome Emperors, High A affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. This is new because the Rome Braves are now the Rome Emperors. So they were the Rome Braves, now they're the Rome Emperors, and the rebranding they've done is fabulous. By the way, like it's absolutely incredible. I love it. So anyway, they're revealing their new Copa identity to go with it. Obviously, it's Georgia, so they have the peaches, and it's agricultural. It's, the economies of southern Mexico are also agricultural, is what they're saying. And so it's a Georgia peach with green shades and a coif. It's on a black visor, black eyelets, orange squatchy, orange visor, black crown, orange visor, orange squatchy, and black eyelets. What do you think of this, Brad?
I think it looks good. It honestly looks like a baseballism hat, if I'm being 100%.
It
Like
really
it looks
does.
like if baseballism were to do like Rockford Peaches, like their version of it, it might be this. I like it a lot though. I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I'd wear
clean.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not super into orange, but that orange is working for me with that green and the black.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the green really sets it off, and that's really nice. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Looks really good.
All right, let's move on to this one. Spokane Indians, High A affiliate of the Rockies. They are the Cafecitos de Spokane. Bold and robust, in quotes.
Yes,
That's how they use to describe a good cup of coffee, and it's also a fitting summation of the Indians' caffeinated Copa identity. Bright yellow and orange serve as the backdrop of the Cafecito logo, which features a hat wearing a mustachioed, smiling to the point of giddiness cup of coffee. Here we go. That's what it is. It's yellow all the way around, orange squatchy, orange visor. The eyelets are blended with the yellow. There is a mustachioed and very, very animatedly happy cup demi-tasse of espresso with a Panama hat.
Yes.
That's what you get.
So that reminds me of Cuphead. You know Cuphead and Mugman?
Yeah.
Vaguely? Yeah. Okay. No, it reminds me of Cuphead.
I know.
And Brig, if I drank coffee, I would buy this hat tomorrow. 100%.
Would you?
I love it. I think it's so great. The happy coffee cup with the Panama hat. It's so quirky and good. I love it. I don't even like yellow and orange, but I'd still buy it and wear it.
You hate yellow, mostly.
Generally speaking, yes. But I'd still buy it and wear it.
Interesting.
Because it's awesome.
I give it like a 1.
Yeah.
I give
it a 4.5. That 0.5 is lacking because I don't drink coffee.
I love coffee, and I would never wear this. Not on your life. I don't even know what the Spokane Indians' actual branding looks like, but if I ever ended up there and picked up a cap, this would not be the one I would walk away with. I will be looking that up later to find out.
It's just an S.
No, that's probably politically correct, and
probably the way to do it. Yep.
Okay, let's move on to the Wilmington Blue Rocks. They are the High A affiliate of the Washington Nationals. And in this brand, they are the Rocas Azules do Wilmington.
Azules.
Azul means
Azules.
Yes. Well, fine. Very cool.
Which translates to Blue Rocks, by the way.
Okay, but check it out. This figure you see on this cap is Mr. Celery. Mr. Celery is a mysterious anthropomorphic stalk of celery who emerges from his lair whenever the home team scores a run. It is a Wilmington Blue Rocks legend, as written by the marketing department of the Copa team and the Wilmington Blue. I bet that's not true
they said so.
Until they forced it to be true. Yeah, exactly. It's a legend because I said it's a legend. The rest of you should believe me. What are your sources? Trust me, bro. Thank you.
That's right.
Okay, your cap is deep navy. Your squatchy and visor match with what appears to be a quite pastel green to the point of ashy, I would say. Mr. Celery is green. He's wearing a...
sombrero and a poncho.
A sombrero and a poncho, but it's one of those woven, colorful ponchos. And, he features a malevolent pickaxe with which to break up the rocks, I'm assuming. Don't be discouraged, or don't be taken under Don't be taken in by the smile. See that pointy nose of his? You know he's dangerous. And what is he wearing? Are those socks or are they... What are those?
Leaves. I
Anyway.
can't tell. All I know is I give this a
Against it.
1. I
Yeah.
don't like the green. That does
No.
not look good. And I hate
No.
celery. So 0. I'll give it a 0, actually.
Yeah, this gets a 0 for me.
Not good.
I didn't think it could get worse than the cup of coffee one, but it just did. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now let's get into the teams that have rebranded this season, and we're going to start with a team I've actually been to. This is the Midland Rockhounds. They are the AA affiliate of the Oakland Athletics. They're in Midland, Texas, for those of you that don't know. They used to be the Matamoscas de Medesa. Now they're the Midland Amigos. So a dog is a person's best friend, and in Midland, that dog is Rocky, the beloved mascot who puts the hounds in Rockhounds. This is why Major League Baseball is not as fun as minor league baseball sometimes. Okay, it's stuff like this. So Rocky is Skull, actually, Day of the Dead Skull, wearing a sombrero. The sombrero is black, and it has M's stitched across the visor of the sombrero. You can see them. They're in a beautiful Copa pink. The crown is white. You know I'm a sucker for a white hat. Pink eyelets and a matching baby blue squatchy visor. Brad, how you like this?
Well, first off, we have to point out that the Mata Moscas, that is a fly swatter, by the way. They were the fly swatters. Now they are the Amigos. I like the rebrand. I think it looks good. I love the logo. It's fantastic. However, never on your life will you catch me wearing a white hat.
Well, and not in Midland, Texas. Have you ever been to Midland, Texas?
Chance.
Why are you trying to put a white hat
I know what
in Midland,
Texas is like? No. Make it
West Texas.
I don't know. I'm not sure what color you want to make that, but make it literally any other color, and I will give it a 4.5. Instead, I give it a 1 because it's white.
Oh no! See, I'm this is a 4.5, 4.75 for me. I'd wear this every single day.
I don't trust it.
I love it. I love it. And those blues, ooh.
I love the blues, the pink. I love the logo so much.
Pink is great.
I'll give it a 2.
Okay.
Because of the logo.
Thank you.
And I can't give it a 0 because that Rocas Azules is a 0 for me. So
took over.
It's better.
Okay, the next one. This is the Peoria Chiefs. They are a high A affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals. They used to be the Peoria on El Rio. Now they're the
Perros Bomberos de Peoria.
Perros Bomberos.
Okay,
similar to Midland, they are represented by a dog. This Chief's beloved canine is a Dalmatian named Homer, and he is a fire dog, a Perro Bombero. So, obviously, Dalmatians, firemen, fire people, whatever you want to call them. There's the 4, what do you call them? Panels around the back end of the cap are red, fire red. So is the squatchy. We've got a black visor, black eyelets, and Homer on the front here, clearly a Dalmatian. He is gripping a flaming axe in his maw, and he's wearing a. I was hoping
you would say maw.
Yeah, well, you get your wish today, Brad. I'm whipping out my vocabulary. Obviously, got a fire hat on. He's this. I like the. This is a little known detail here, subtle, but he's clearly wearing a fireproof jacket. You can see by the collar that is upturned in green, just under his left jaw.
Do you notice what's on his helmet? Helmet?
Tell us.
PB for Perros Bomberos.
Love it.
What do you give this hat? What do you rank this hat?
This is an easy 4, maybe 4.25.
I give it a 4.5. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason it doesn't get a 5 is because he looks like Marshall from the Paw Patrol.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he does. Oh, way to go,
they got a little
Dad.
bit more original with the dog. It might have been.
Yeah.
It certainly looks like
That's
a grown
awesome.
Marshall, or at least a teenage Marshall. But.
Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot. I think it's fun. Yeah, well done. Okay, last one. Let's get into the last one here. Well, my headphones fall out. This is the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. They are the single A affiliate of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They used to be the Temblores de Rancho Cucamonga, which I believe is earthquakes. Is that not?
Tremors.
Tremors. The same thing. Now they are the Chaquetas. Chaqueta translates to jacket, but the Quakes are specifically celebrating the flamboyant jackets worn by mariachi musicians. They say even more specifically, they are paying tribute to the mariachi jacket Dodgers pitcher Joe Kelly acquired from a national anthem performer in exchange for his jersey. He later wore the jacket to the White House following the Dodgers' 2020 World Series win. The Quakes said this unique series of events is an example of cross-cultural impact of community, music, and baseball. Baseball family, it is black all the way around. It's got white eyelets. It's got a silvered gray squatchy. And the design on the front is Joe Kelly wearing a mariachi jacket. With his cap. Yeah, with his cap and everything. He's got his belt buckle. It's done in various shades of white and silver, I assume. And then it's silhouette, in case you're not looking. If
you can see his glasses, though. I love that you can see
his glasses. Yes.
And Brig, this is a 5 out of 5 for me. This is the one I would buy if I was not put on a hiatus from buying hats. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the one.
This is the
because
one.
I love Joe Kelly. I love his personality. I love what he does for baseball. The trolling, everything that he does is outstanding. I love it so much. And his self-awareness to I don't know where it's going to go. I love it. I love watching Joe Kelly. I would absolutely wear a logo if him wearing a mariachi jacket on my head.
Me too.
5 out of 5.
I would do it.
Well done.
This gets a 4.5 out of 5 for me. It ranks up there with the first one we went over, the Peces.
What keeps you from giving it a 5?
There's not enough color. That's the only thing. Copa and color, they go hand in hand for me. They're synonymous.
I think even if they had gone with a silver visor on it, just to add a little bit more color to it,
I think that would have ruined it. Obviously, in this case, I think that would have been too much. But, and I don't know where I would put the color. Just being very honest with you, I'm just saying at face value, I'd wear it. I'd wear the crap out of it, but it wouldn't be my number one choice. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
Baseball family, tell us what you think. Which one do you like? Is your team, your local team, doing Copa? Are they celebrating Copa like mine is, like Brad's is? And if so, are you stocking up on the merch? Are you keeping the Copa going in your area? Because we are. It's the best. We just love it entirely. One of these days, Brad, we're going to have to do a full ranking of every Copa team. Maybe we'll save that for this off season. I think that would be a fun thing to do.
I think so.
But
yeah.
Baseball family, if you want any of these, you can go to Fanatics or New Era. But if you want to go to Fanatics, you can go down to the link in our description and you can pick up hats, Copa hats. That's a great way to go.
And anything else you find there. But just know that if you hit the link in the description, you will be supporting the show. So that would be greatly appreciated as well. Another way you can support the show is by heading over to schnookseatery.com and using code BTPOD at checkout to support yourself by saving 10% and support the show by ordering some seeds. They really are the best seeds ever. Brig, you're still loving Parma Pep always and forever?
Every time, man. Every time.
I can't get enough cinnamon toast. It's so good, sweet and salty. I love it.
Yeah, it is deeply. Good. Don't forget, baseball family, you can support us on Patreon as well. There are 5 tiers of support, everything from $1 to a whopping and hilarious $500 worth of support. Jump on to patreon.com, search Baseball Together. You can figure out what those are. Everybody gets a perk. Everybody gets more than one perk the more you tier up in your support. It's the best way to support the show. It's the most direct way. Baseball family, with that, don't forget we will be live Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time every week during the season. And with that, thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next week.